What's happening, y'all? This is the Wake Up Barstool post-show. And this is a new thing that we're doing, so we're still building out. I don't know what this thing's going to become. I guess the goal of this thing is just to have a more chill environment for us to hang out and kind of talk back and forth. I desperately miss when we're on TV not having a chat function. This is a bit more like radio, a bit more like hanging out, whatever. The point is, whether you're watching on Twitter or YouTube, you get in the chat, you can ask whatever. We get to whatever. I have a bunch of topics I'm going to get to here, and they're going to range, okay? They can be all over the place. Very nerdy, could be sportsy, could be whatever. Shout out Kate. Guys, can we make the chat bigger on the screen here? I have bad eyes. I'm 37 years old. I'm going to be older and older, and I can't read that. Rob, can you read that?
No, I can't.
Yeah, okay. Oh, there we go. Now, yeah, hell yeah. What's up, Hob? What's up, Kay? What's up, Vandy Dandy? Gunshot Goose? Hope everybody's having a great day. Continue to get in here. Again, you ask anything, we'll get to it. Vandy, and it says Pavia is a solid third rounder. Eat it, haters. Yeah, I'm excited to see Pavia in the Gruden quarterback class stuff. I haven't watched any of it yet, but here's what I would say about Diego Pavia. This is an NFL draft with a dearth of quarterbacks. We know that, right? Now, tell me Ty Simpson's really good, that's fine, but really there's two first rounders. It's Fernando, and then it's Ty Simpson, and then it's kind of everybody else. And I get it. Diego Pavia has size works against him. Maybe style of offense works against him. Maybe not having the most traditional arm works against him. But what he does have in spades is fucking balls. You know, the guy's got balls, and he's competitive as hell. And that, if I'm an NFL scout, I have a quarterback need, or I think I maybe have a need for, if I have a room for maybe wanting a quality backup or a gadget guy that you could design some packages around here in year number one, a guy who I know is going to go leave it all out there on the field for the boys. I love Pavia's intangibles. I would love taking a mid-round shot on him. Third round, maybe a bit high. I don't know what the current consensus is on Pavia, but in my stupid brain, yeah. Third round, that definitely plays for sure. What's up, Kyle? What's up, Ben? What's happening, Chris? All right, where do we want to start today? You know what? I think I want to start with this. I want to start with this because we haven't talked. I'm going to start with Lou Holtz, Jeremy, if you want to go ahead and get the newspaper trick video pulled up, because maybe a bit of an oversight on the television show's part, but it's the time of the year. We got the World Baseball Classic, March Madness, which, by the way, guys, this sports weekend, going to be fantastic. Team USA making their debut tonight. You got baseball to watch all day long. There's great basketball games, rivalry games going down all weekend, which have massive implications. This is going to be a very fun sports weekend. But because of this, we lost a legend this weekend. I didn't really get to talk about it. And that's Lou Holtz, man. And if you're my age, I'm 37, there's a very good chance, and if you're a college football fan, there's a very good chance that some of your formative memories of college, maybe high school, are drinking beers late. It's Saturday. It's college football final. You just watched college football for 12 hours straight. It's midnight, and Lou and Mark May and Reese Davis enter the courtroom, and they do their debate segment. It was great. It was really good television, dude. And that's the thing, some people want to say, oh, T-Bob, I don't know. It was, you're just being nostalgic. There's an element of that, right? Nostalgia's powerful. And I love it. Fuck, I still play World of Warcraft Classic. I'm playing Burning Crusade right now. So, make no mistake, I am susceptible to nostalgia, as we all are as we get older. But I don't want that to overshadow the man that Lou Holtz was. And that's been one of the cooler parts in the wake of his passing, has been the amount of stories that have come out about this guy. There's a great clip with Jerome Bettis talking about what a recruiter he was, immediately winning over the family, his mom, everything else. Some of the speeches coming out of the Miami Catholics versus convicts rivalry, where Holtz basically said, look, I want you to keep it honorable between the lines for the game, but when we beat them, if they want to fight them, we'll fight them and save Jimmy Johnson's ass for me. I mean, he's this kind of goofy, diminutive little man who somehow used wit and an insane competitive desire to become a leader of like the most alpha men on the planet. Like there's a reason why, like you can look at Lou Holtz later as an entertainer and everything and maybe want to kind of make jokes or take away from who he was. But there's a reason why he's the last Notre Dame head coach to win a national championship, last Notre Dame head coach to have a Heisman winner, and the last Notre Dame head coach to put together a #1 recruiting class. The man was awesome. Like I don't want that to be lost. We really lost one of the all-time greats. And probably my favorite Lou Holtz video that I've seen in the wake of all of this is the newspaper trick. And maybe y'all have seen this, maybe y'all have not if you were like me. And this encapsulates so much of what Holtz is in terms of being like entertaining, in terms of having some tricks up of his sleeve. We're having a little trouble with the audio, so we'll get there in a second. Shout out to Benny. It's his first time watching post show. I love this more T-Bob. Hell yeah, man. Jacob just came to say what's up. What's up, Jacob? Welcome in. Taylor Fritz loves World of Warcraft. I mean, bro, so do I, dude. Ben, T-Bob, how's life going since you hired at Barstool and started WUB? It's been going well, man. It's been going well. It's a big adjustment. You know, I talk about it all the time, so apologies. But I got an 8-year-old, I got a 6-year-old, I got a 3-year-old. Moving them across the country to Chicago was a lot. Shout out to my unbelievable wife, Caitlin. We've been together since we were 16. She did the heavy lifting there. She kept the family together during it. But it's been a lot, but it's been honestly, it's been like a dream come true to get to come up here and experience something completely new. Because I'd always lived in the South, and I love the South, and I love Louisiana dearly, and it will always be home, and I'll probably end up there again one day. But we only get one trip on this earth, right? And so I'd be and then to get to be on TV in this incredible studio and to work with this like awesome team that we have here. Those who are, good on you, but I am your definition of a classic Andy. In fact, even like TBC is a bit too far. I'm holding out for Classic Plus, like a lot of the classic Andy Warcraft nerds. Jeremy, do we have sound on the Holtz video yet? Okay, here's Lou Holtz talking to the Texas football team. Watch this shit, dude. It's like a minute long, but this is so good.
Like any other newspaper. You have front page for people who want to read the news. You have the comic for people who can't read. And you have the editorial page for people who can't think. But you can't let people tear you up. You can't let people destroy you. You can't let people say you aren't going to be great. Don't ever let anybody tell you you can't do something. My personal belief is there isn't any obstacle that's going to keep me from being successful. Difficult, you're doggone right. That's why so few people achieve success. Don't let people tear you up. Don't let people tear you down. Don't let people cause you to lose the faith and confidence you have in yourself. Because if you really have a strong faith and a strong belief.
Guys. Wait, listen to this sign off right here. Hold on.
Somebody said, how'd I do that? Perfectly, I thought. But in that
I mean, dude, that right there encapsulates Lou Holtz. How charming he was, the wit, the charisma that oozes off the screen, making like a salient point through metaphor, tearing up the newspaper, and then a little magic at the end. And the final line is my favorite. You know, people, I heard somebody say, how'd I do that? I'd say perfectly. You did, coach, like you did a lot of stuff in life. Rest in peace. Thoughts and prayers to all of Lou's friends, families. I'm loving seeing the celebration of life that has come as Lou Holtz has passed on. And you know, as I get older, I think a lot about existential questions and death and whatnot. And, everybody finds their own ways to process this and handle this. For me, it's certainly, I think, faith has started to become a bigger part and certainly helps. But I heard somebody talking online the other day about something that kind of blew my mind. And it's a pretty easy concept when you think about it, which is the people that we're on the earth with right now, right, for our lifetime, these are our people. Like you like I said, you get this 80-year, you get this 100-year run on this floating rock in space, and everybody who's here on the planet with us at the same time, that's our crew. Like, those are our people. And so, yeah, let's remember that. That's all we got. So, let's look out for each other. Let's love on each other a little bit. As we enter this algorithmic age where corporations are looking to profit off of our anger, off of our fear, and feed us stuff that wants to make us calcify and divide, let's remember at the end of the day, dude, we're all humans. We all love one another. We're all on this rock on the same time, and let's be kind to one another. And that kind of goes into another clip that I wanted to play, and one of my favorite emerging characters out of the Combine, and that's the incredible receiver Casey Concepcion. So here's a guy who was awesome at NC State. He goes to Texas A&M. He was great there. Alpha dude, giant guy, uber fast, great hand, just a premier NFL receiver. Well, KC has dealt with a speech impediment his entire life. He has a stuttering problem, and not that I didn't look. I would say this. I'm not trying to make this this was a big problem for me, because it wasn't, but. I fucked up my mouth when I was a little kid, and I had to go to years and years of speech therapy, and it really helped. I couldn't talk, couldn't pronounce anything correctly, whatever, blah. I still stutter a little bit too. Nothing to the level of KC, but I just love guys when they are willing to be vulnerable and they're willing to put themselves out there in pursuit of a greater cause. And you might have seen the clip of KC that went viral during the Combine, where he's up there answering questions on the most public of stages, right? All the decision makers, all the media, millions of people watching at home. And here's a guy who's not comfortable talking publicly, or hasn't been for much of his life, who's having to do just that. And yes, it was a bit stilting and it was tough, but he forced himself to do it. And he sat down with the NFL Network and watch this clip right here. He basically explained why it was important to him to kind of force himself to embrace that stage and be an example for others that they could look up to.
Before I was kind of thinking about not going up there, but again, I want to be a role model for those who can't who aren't who are not able to speak in front of large crowds, and people and people who doesn't have the confidence to get up there and speak in front of everybody.
And I mean, look, and here, yes, you hear the and all this other stuff, and you could so easily sit here and you could critique, and you could pull apart. But how many of us would be willing to put ourselves out there with our deepest insecurity and meet that insecurity head on? Because that's the actual story with KC Concepcion. That's what we can all draw into our own life. Where do we feel insecure? Where do we feel weak? Are we willing to embrace it? Are we willing to confront it? And are we willing to try to be an example to others how to deal with it? So shout out to KC Concepcion. I was already a fan because you're a great football player. Now I'm an even bigger fan because you're out here inspiring many younger folks around the country who may be dealing with similar issues, and it just feels good to see somebody who's like you represented on that stage and kicking ass. I can't wait to see where KC goes. All right, you can get your questions in. Let's go. Okay, I got to get into something nerdy here, guys. I don't know if any of y'all out there in the chat are anime fans. There's probably a pretty good chance that some of you are. There might be a good chance that some of y'all watched Gundam growing up. Now, I wasn't a massive Gundam guy. I'm not going to put on airs here. But I did like Gundam as a kid. I used to build some models and whatnot, and whatever. The concept of a human being operating a giant mech is just badass, especially doing space combat with giant swords and guns. Well, everything else in 2026, it's becoming a reality. I mean, we had the Kung Fu robots at the Chinese New Year show the other day. We had the insane Godzilla drone show coming out of Japan with fireworks and everything, blowing my mind. We live in a day and age where AI, maybe not true AI, machine learning or whatever, is more and more part of our everyday life. It's insane. Like, I guess the point is, all of these things that were sci-fi, fantasy, that were fake when I was a kid, they're all actually becoming a reality, and it looks like Gundam has entered the mix here, dude. Look at this. Bring this tweet up here, Jeremy. Japan has officially made, you got to bring the tweet up so I can actually, or I can bring it up on my phone and I'll look at exactly what the tweet says. But they have basically made a giant robot that is going to be, it's the Archax, I don't know. Even this is a tweet that's originally in French, but because of AI is perfectly translated. Like, that's insane. But this is Archax, a 4.5 meter tall piloted giant humanoid robot capable of lifting tons, demolishing structures, and intervening remotely in disaster zones. Look at this, dude. Human beings, watch until you wait until this thing lifts up its hands. It's got articulated fingers. This is badass. This is super sick. I would love if this company would ever come over here to America. If you want to come by the Barstool offices and, do a little promo and let us pilot one of these things. I guess my only question would be like, why does the person have to be in the suit? But like, who knows? This could end up being a huge positive for humanity. Disaster strikes. You need somebody to clear the rubble. You got to go to a nuclear zone or something. You send in the giant mech robot, piloted by the humans. Gunshots is Titanfall 3. Yeah, definitely. Jeff, T-Bob, did you watch G Gundam? I did not. Ben wants to know if I played League of Legends. I did play League of Legends for many, many years. I loved it. It was probably my favorite game from about 2009 to like 2013. Thresh was my favorite. Loved Gragas as well. I was a support main, so Thresh and Janna were kind of my guys back in the day. If you didn't play League, I guess you don't have any idea what I'm talking about. Speaking of nerd things, do we have any Firefly fans there in the audience? Because if you love Nathan Fillion and you love Firefly, some good news may be on the horizon. Apparently, Firefly, they're announcing, I think they're going to have an announcement here in a couple of days, maybe around St. Patty's Day. I can't remember the exact date. But Firefly, the television show, one of the all-time great single-season television shows, a show that was out, got canceled, and then took on a huge cult following. It is widely speculated that a reboot is coming and that it could be the original cast. Click on the video. Here's the video that Fillion put out to promote it here. How's he look so good, by the way? Again, sci-fi. All these Hollywood people, they don't age anymore.
Joel?
Wait, are we?
Yes. We are.
Shiny.
Shiny?
I was hoping you'd say that.
This is very dumb and very indicative of the Firefly humor that I think was one of the great parts of the show. Look, maybe it'll suck. Maybe it'll be great. I don't know. I can't wait, though. Ben Bullock, T-Bob, my brother Casey Bullock is a starting QB at Davidson this year. He won 3 state championships at St. Ed's in Ohio. Keep an eye out for him. All right. Everybody, keep an eye on Casey Bullock. Kyle says, T-Bob, have you ever read the Hyperion books? It's like Dune mixed with Canterbury Tales. Would be right up your alley. I've read 1.5 of the Hyperion books. Very high concept, very good. Eventually, I'm going to finish the book 2 of Hyperion. I don't know why. I keep like 5 or 6 books scattered around my house at any time, basically whatever bathroom that I'm in, that I like slowly chew my way through. But the problem with that is sometimes I end up losing the actual physical book itself, and then I can't find it and I fall off. And that's what happened on Hyperion. So if I find the book again, I'll probably get back into it. Right now, though, I am absolutely hooked on Red Rising. I know it's having a moment. If you're a sci-fi fan, I cannot recommend Red Rising enough. I'm actually listening to it. I love audiobooks, but but I'm listening to the graphic audio version. Shout out one of our great sales guys here at Barstool, Andrew Meeks. He put me on this. These are fully casted, voice acted, sound effects. It basically sounds like watching a movie. It's like listening to a movie. But actually, I would describe it more as like a radio play. And I think that's something that's kind of lost that is awesome. That's lost today that is awesome are those old school radio plays before the advent of television, where you were telling a story just through writing and sound effects and voice acting, and we've kind of entered a second golden era in that. Like, if you've never, maybe you've read Neil Gaiman's Sandman comic books. Very, very good. Gaiman, I don't know. Say it however you want. But Audible came out with, I think it might only be on Audible. I think they're Audible originals. They did this with those Sandman comics, and it is a top 5 piece of media that I have ever consumed. I'm talking movie, video. It doesn't matter what type of media. The Sandman fully sound affected, acted, casted audiobooks are amazing. If you're a nerd and that sounds like something you'd be into, check it out. You're welcome. Thank me later. What class is your main in WoW? I'm playing Midnight. Again, not playing retail. Always play Classic. Priest would be probably the class that I have logged the most time in. Classic 2019 is probably my favorite video game time my entire life. I fulfilled a childhood dream because when I was younger, I was like very socially anxious online. And so I started playing during TBC. I played a Blood Elf Hunter all the way 1 through 70. I never grouped for a single dungeon. I never grouped at all, barely. I was just terrified of people. So in 2019, Classic rolls around. I'm now an adult with more confidence and whatnot. I created Dwarf Priest. Next thing you know, no add-on, hit level 60. Start raiding, eventually got full tier 2 clearing BWL. Unfortunately, my guild ended up crashing upon the, I think it was the AQ40 rocks, which happens many times, but some of the best memories of my entire life. That said, I've been very into tanking lately. I've got an Undead Warrior that's been a lot of fun, and then because it's TBC and Pallies have a taunt now, I made a Blood Elf Paladin. Because I also wanted to play Blood Elf again because I hadn't played that in like 20 years, and it was really fascinating to see that starting zone and everything again. So shout out to Thaladin, the Paladin. We're having a very good time there. But Kyle says book 2 in Red Rising picks up like halfway. Yeah, I've heard that like halfway through book 2, Red Rising it goes deeper into a different direction than you ever would have thought, and I can't wait because I'm like right on the edge of getting there, and I'm already in love with it. So I am very excited to see where it goes from here. Gunshot talking about the fully casted Harry Potter series as well. Yeah, I've dabbled in those. They are great. Let's get to a sports topic here. Trinidad Chambliss. The Ole Miss quarterback, the great, one of my top 5 quarterbacks returning for next season. Remember, he wanted to get an extra year. He filed an injunction with the NCAA because he was denied a red shirt from his time at Ferris State when he was arguably deserving of one. The NCAA said, no, your eligibility is spent. You got to go to the NFL. Well, Trinidad went to a local Ole Miss court. Imagine that. They approved his injunction, meaning Trinidad will be eligible for this fall season. Well, the NCAA said not so fast. And they have now filed a 658-page appeal to the Mississippi Supreme Court. Okay. Multiple thoughts here. 658 pages? What the fuck are we doing? Dude, that is just lawyers stacking billable hours. That's fucking crazy. There is no way you need 658 pages to prove why Trinidad Chambliss should not be able to play football again. In fact, if you need 658 pages, methinks the lady doth protest too much. I think you're doing too much, and I don't think it's going to be terribly convincing. Also, the Mississippi State Supreme Court, not Mississippi State, the college, Mississippi State Supreme Court. This is the same state that just passed an NIL bill that means that players' NIL dollars will be free from income tax. They also denied giving teachers a raise. You think that's the state, NCAA, that's going to tell Trinidad Chambliss he's got to go to the NFL? Especially when a lot of the argument is that Trinidad Chambliss sticking around is going to cause irreparable harm to other players, but you would be causing irreparable harm to Trinidad Chambliss by putting him back in the NFL now that he's missed the combine and everything else. It's the NCAA. I don't think they stand a chance here. And neither does Chambliss's lawyer, Tom Mars, who's very famous in this space. And he had a great quote. I'm going to paraphrase it. But he had a great quote basically saying, like, I think this will go like last time. And he referenced another case. And he says in which Justice Kavanaugh, U.S. Supreme Court Justice, knocked the NCAA's teeth out. He said, after this one, I expect the NCAA to be spitting chiclets once again. So, Trinidad Chambliss, the NCAA trying to stop him from playing. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Chambliss wins. And honestly, for Trinidad Chambliss at this point, I hope he wins because it would suck for him to miss the full offseason of getting ready for the NFL and then suddenly be told, oh, wait, actually, no, you can't play college football anymore. All right, guys. Welcome. The MFTODD. Late, we're here. This is good stuff. Yeah, so this is fun. I don't know exactly where this show's going to go. Again, we'll have people on. It's chill. Anybody from the office will come on, just talk, hang out. We'll get into stuff around the internet that I'm interested in that I didn't get to talk about. Like maybe you watch Dunk and Egg, Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Shout out to Egg, the little actor, Dexter Ansel. This was great. He's this adorable little bald kid. Well, you remember being at school, right? And you had book fair or like book day, whatever you want to call it. And when I was a kid, you would dress up as your favorite book character. I remember going as Cowboy Small, one of the best days of my life. Well, Dexter Ansel got to do one of the coolest things ever as he went to school in his uniform in his costume from the Game of Thrones show as Egg. He got to be himself on National Book Fair Day. That's fucking sick. All right, guys. Hey, hope you have a great weekend. A lot of sports on deck. Watch WBC on Fox tonight. Have some beers responsibly. Have some fun this weekend. And we'll be back on Monday with a brand new Wake Up Barstool.